Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Nandini, studying in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. Course is Computer Science Engineering with Data Science. Subject is Procedural Oriented Programming. In this video, I am going to discussing about some basic concepts in C. First, we are going to discussing about the structure of C. In structure of C, all program starts from preprocessor directives. Next is global declaration, main function. Inside the main function, local declaration and statements will be there. Preprocessor directives are also called as header files, and these can be starts with hash symbol. In the example program, hash include stdio.h is an header file. stdio.h stands for standard input output. Global declarations means the variable that are declared outside the main function. The type of variables we called as global declaration. Main function means any program starts from execution starts from main function. Without main functions, the programs cannot be run. Next one is global declarations. Global declarations means the variable that are declared inside the main function. The type of variables we call it as local declarations. In the example program, int num1, num2, sum are the local declarations. Num1, num2, sum are the variables and int is the data type. Next one is statements. In the example program printf, scanf, these are all the statements. Next, we are going to discussing about input and output statements in the C. Printf is the output statements. Printf stands for print formatting. Printf statements is used to display the information in the screen. Print means print the data stored in the structure in the specified memory location or a variable. Format means the data present in the memory location is formatted into appropriate data type. General syntax is goes like printf followed by parentheses, inside the parentheses in double quotes, format string uh, followed by variable list. Format string and variable list can be separated by comma, and statements ends with semicolon. Example for these output statements are printf followed by parentheses in double quotations, welcome to India. It's going to print welcome to India. Then another example for this is int a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 10. A cannot be equal to 10. We are assigning the 10 to the a, and we are assigning the value 20 to the b. Printf, percentage d, percentage d, these are the format strings. When we use the int data type, at the time we use percentage d is the symbolic notation for int data type, and percentage c is the symbolic notation for character data type, and percentage ac is the e- symbolic notation for string data type, and a comma b are the variables. Format string is also called as control string. Format string consist of format specifiers of particular data type. Next, we are going to discussing about input function is scanf. Scanf stands for scan formatting. Scanf is used to read the data from the standard input, and it stores the variables. General syntax goes like scanf followed by parentheses. Inside the parentheses in double quotes, format string will be there and followed by list of address of the variables, and these two can be separated by comma, and these statements ends with semicolon. Example for scanf function example for input statements are int a comma b. A comma b are the variables, int is the data type, scanf is the input function, and percentage d and percentage d is the symbolic notation for the int data type. Ampersand a is the ampersand b. Ampersand a means address of a and address of b. The list of address of variables consists variable name preceded with ampersand symbol. Ampersand symbol indicates the address of the variable. Next, we are going to discussing about iterative statements in the C. There are three types of iterative statements in C. They are while, do while, for loop. In first, in this video, I am going to discussing while and do while loops. While loop is used to repeat one or more statements while a particular condition is true. In while loop, the condition is tested before any statements in the statement block is executed. Flowcharts for this while loop is here. First, it's going to test the condition. If test condition is true, then it will execute the statements. If it is false, it exits the while loop. General syntax and example for the while loop is while condition. While is the keyword and in the parenthesis we give condition. In flower braces statements should be there. In the example program, hash include std_out is the header file, void is the data type and main function. In the braces, int sum is equals to 0, I is equals to 0. Int is the data type and 0 we are assigning to the sum, 100 we are assigning the value to the I. While I sum plus equals I minus minus means sum is equals to sum plus I minus minus. It's going to print 1 to 100 numbers. Next one is do while loop. It is also similar to the while loop. The only difference is that in do while loop the test condition is tested at the last. And do while loop is widely used to print list of options for a menu driven program. First we execute the statements, then test the condition in the do while loop. If test condition is true, it executes the statements. If it is false, it exits the do while loop. General syntax and example for do while loop is first first statement should be executed, then and entered into the do is the keyword and inside the braces statements will be there. At last while condition will be there. In do while loop we test the condition at the last. In while loop we check the condition at the beginning. In do while loop, while condition ends with semicolon. In the example program, int I is the declaration of the variable and do is the keyword. Scanf %d is the percentage d is the format string and ampersand I is the address of the I. While I is less than 1 and I is greater than 100, it it's going to check the condition. If it is true, it executes the statement. Otherwise it will exit the while loop. Next we are going to discussing about functions. Functions in SE is a set of statements that when called perform to some specific task. There are two types of functions. They are library functions and user defined functions. Library functions are pre-defined. User functions are we can create our own functions depending upon the programs. Library functions. Library functions are pre-defined functions provided by the C standards libraries. Some standard libraries are input and output functions or printf and scanf for the input output functions. These can be included in hash include stdio.h header file. String length, string copy, string comparison, string concatenation. These string functions can be included in hash include stdio string.h header file. Square root, power, absolute, these are all the mathematical functions. These can be included in hash include math.h header file. Time, clock, these are all the time functions. These can be included in hash include time.h header file. Next one is user defined functions. User defined functions are created by the programmers to perform specific tasks. Hash include in this program hash include stdio.h is the header file, int is the return type, add is the function name. Function name followed by parentheses. Inside the parentheses arguments will be there and the statements ends with semicolon. This whole line we call it as function declaration. Next one is main function. Inside the main function, the variables will be declared. Int x is equals to 5 and y is equals to 10. We are assigning 5 to the x and 10 value to the y. Next we are going to printing the sum of those two numbers and add x comma y. It's going to call the function and at that time below function will work. Int Int is the return type, add is the function name, int a comma int b or the arguments. Argument in it going to return the sum of those two variables. The output is sum colon 15. Pointer. Next topic is pointers. Pointer is a variable that can store the address of another variable. General syntax of the pointers goes like data type star ptr variable name. Without including the star means its normal declaration. When we include the star in front of the pointer variable name, and this is called pointer variable declaration. Example for this is int star ptr. Star is also called as dereferencing operator. In the point, when we use the pointers in the programs, very efficient programs can be written. Memory utilization can be takes place properly. There are two types of pointers. There are null pointer and generic pointer. Generic pointer is also called as void pointer. In this program, hash include stdio.h is the header file main function and inside the main function int num is equals to 10 is normal variable declaration and int star ptr is equals to ampersand num int star ptr is the pointer variable name and pointer variable that can store the address of num variable. Pointer variable can have two things. One is address of another variable and for pointer also it can have another address. Printf. We are going to printing the value of num and we are printing the value using the pointer that is start ptr. Next, we are changing the value num using this pointer is pointer variable is equals to 20. Then we are printing the new value of num and return 0. Return when we use the int data type we need to include return 0. Otherwise the program cannot be work. Next topic is structures. A structure in a C is a user-defined data type that can be used to group the items possibly different data types into a single type. Next, general syntax and example for this structure is struct. Struct is a keyword used to define the structure and structure name. Structure name we can give any name as structure name and it can follow the identifier rules and followed by braces and inside the braces data type and members will be there. At last of the structure variables should be declared and the structure ends with semicolon. When we forgot semicolon at the structure end, the program can show the errors. In the example program, struct is the keyword, Greeks for Greeks is the structure name, character is the data type, and name is the member. Int is the data type, ID is the variable name, float is the data type, salary is the member name, and ends with semicolon. Thank you for watching my video. Please do like and subscribe to my channel.